Welcome to Math, where problems are no problem. Imagine two students bragging about their test scores. One says, I got an 85. The other says, I got a 70. Who actually did better? You can't tell yet because you don't know how hard each test was or how everyone else did. This is exactly the problem a z-score solves, and by the end of this video, you'll be able to compare those two scores fairly. Here's the everyday picture to hold on to. Think about the heights of everyone in a large school. Most people cluster around average height. A few are noticeably taller, a few are noticeably shorter, and almost nobody is extremely tall or extremely short. If you plotted every single height on a graph, you'd get a hump in the middle that tapers off evenly on both sides, like a bell sitting on a table. That bell shape is called a normal distribution. It's just a way of describing data where most values sit near the middle and fewer values sit far from it, symmetrically on both sides. To describe a normal distribution, we need two numbers. The first is the mean. That's just the average, the balancing point, right in the center of the bell. The second is the standard deviation. This tells you how spread out the data typically is from that average. A small standard deviation means everyone's height is pretty close to average, like a tightly packed group. A large standard deviation means heights are all over the place, like a very mixed group. Now here's the key idea. Instead of asking how many inches away from average is this height, we ask how many standard deviations away from average is this value. That number, how many standard deviations a value sits from the mean, is called the z-score. It's like a universal ruler. It doesn't matter if you're measuring test scores, heights, or shoe sizes. Once you convert to a z-score, everything is measured in the same units, steps away from average. The formula is simple. Z equals the value you're checking minus the mean, all divided by the standard deviation. In words, take your number, subtract the average, then divide by how spread out the data usually is. Let's go back to those two students. Say the whole class took the same test. The class mean was 75, and the standard deviation was 5 points, meaning scores typically wander about 5 points away from 75 in either direction. Student 1 scored 85. Let's find their z-score. 85 minus 75 is 10. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So this student's z-score is 2. Their score sits 2 standard deviations above the mean. Student 2 scored 70. 70 minus 75 is negative 5. Negative 5 divided by 5 is negative 1. So this student's z-score is negative 1. Their score sits 1 standard deviation below the mean. Now we can actually compare them fairly. Student 1 is 2 standard deviations above average, solidly ahead of the pack. Student 2 is 1 standard deviation below average, behind the pack, but not dramatically so. Even though 85 and 70 look like very different raw scores, the z-scores tell us exactly how each person did relative to everyone else on that specific test. Let's double-check the math holds up using logic, not just arithmetic. A positive z-score should always land to the right of the mean, above average, and 85, being higher than 75, does land on the right side, matching our positive 2. A negative z-score should land to the left, below average, and 70, being lower than 75, lands on the left side, matching our negative 1. The signs and directions agree, so our calculations check out. One more thing worth noticing. A z-score of 0 would mean the value is exactly equal to the mean. Dead center on the bell. Perfectly average. The farther a z-score gets from 0 in either direction, the more unusual that value is compared to the rest of the group. So here's the one sentence to keep. A z-score just tells you how many standard deviations a value sits from the mean, turning any bell-shaped data set into the same universal ruler so you can compare apples to oranges fairly. If this helped, the next video covers how to use z-scores to find percentiles under the normal curve. And if you found this useful, subscribing helps this channel keep reaching people stuck on the exact same question.